So you've been thinking about making a move to Meridian, Idaho, but you're trying to make sure, is this going to be the best decision that I could make? Well, today I'm going to go through some of the things that make Meridian the #1 rated suburb in the entire state of Idaho, but also to let you know, it's not perfect for everyone. So we're going to go through some pros and some cons. We're going to go through the good, the bad, probably not the ugly. There's not a lot of ugly in Meridian, but I'm going to try and give you some of that honest truth so that you know if Meridian, Idaho could be a great place for you and your family. Let's go ahead and get into it. If you're thinking about making a move to the overall Boise, Idaho area, Meridian is somewhere that has probably popped up on your search, and if it hasn't, there's going to be a good reason why I say that, and I'll get into it a little bit in this video. Meridian is one of the most desirable places to live in the entire state of Idaho, but especially here in the Treasure Valley for a few different reasons. Today, I'm going to highlight some of the good reasons that draw people here, but I'm also going to highlight some of the things that might push you in another direction. Maybe there's another city that you'll like just a little bit more. It all really depends what you're looking for in the place that you want to call home. And all of this comes from me, someone who's lived in Meridian for almost a decade. It is a place that I absolutely love. My wife and I have lived in a couple different spots in Meridian itself. We have loved living here. So this is something that's near and dear to my heart, and I hopefully can give you a little bit of that local insight so that you can make the best decision for you. And with all that being said, I am a licensed agent here in the area. So whether you're looking to move in 9 days or 9 months, I want to do everything that I can to make your move to Meridian, Boise, Eagle, whatever it is, as smooth as possible. I get calls, text, emails from people just like you every single day talking about their relocation here to the Boise, Idaho area, and I love it. This is my favorite thing to do. I love sharing everything that our valley has to offer. So if you have any questions at all of my info is down in the description below. I would love to chat with you and see how we can make this move as easy as possible for you and your family. And if this is your first time to the channel, hit that subscribe button down below. That way you're the first person to know everything that there's to know about living in Boise, Idaho, and what it's actually like to live, work, and play here in the area. Okay, with that out of the way, let's hop into the first thing that I want to talk about today. We're going to start positive. We're going to start with pro #1 about living here in Meridian, Idaho, is the vast options of eating and shopping that you're gonna have. Meridian is the biggest suburb of Boise, Idaho, and it has a population of just around 125,000. This is much bigger than a lot of the neighboring cities that we talk about a lot, whether it's Eagle, Star, Middleton, anything like that. This is gonna be the next biggest city outside of the capital city of Boise. Because of this, you're gonna have a ton of options of things to do, places to go see, places to eat. The development really started when it was coming out of Boise. It really just went straight into Meridian. Meridian is located just west of Boise along I-84. So as you look at a map of all the areas that you can check out and the different things that are available, if you want a full video on Meridian and overall kind of where everything's located, watch this video up above. I do a full map tour. But Meridian's gonna have a lot of great options, whether you're looking for kind of local restaurants, if you want the brunch feel, if you're looking for somewhere to go out for dinner for your anniversary or birthday, or you're just looking for somewhere a little bit more low-key, maybe to take someone on a first date, or you just want to go out to dinner with the kids. Meridian's going to have a lot of options for you. This is also going to be one of the places in the valley where you're going to have access to all of the chain restaurants that you want. If you want to go out to Chili's, if you want the fast casual Chipotle's, you want the Noodles and Company, things like that, Eagle Road, right down the heart of Meridian, or kind of where Meridian and Boise intersect, that's where you're going to find a lot of these options. And with Eagle Road, at the very north edge of Meridian, you're going to have Target, and then as you start to go south on Eagle Road, you're going to pass all of these different shopping centers. We're going to have Lowe's, you're going to have Trader Joe's, you're going to go down and you're going to have some of those big box stores of the Michaels, the Marshalls, you're going to have Sierra Trading Post, Bloomington Coat Factory. As you continue to go down, you're going to see Old Navy, the Walmart, Albertsons, Ashley Home Furniture, all of these big places down by the village itself. And then as you continue to go out towards the highway, you're just going to continue to have more and more commercial kind of places for you to go eat, shop, have a drink, whatever you're looking to do. Now, with the growth of Meridian, we've seen that Eagle Road is still the primary place for a lot of people to go and get these types of services, but we're starting to have small pockets pop up. And one that I always like to highlight is out here kind of in Northwest Meridian. We're going to have Orchard Park, where you're going to have a grocery store, you're going to have Costco, you're going to have a Winco, a new library, all sorts of new restaurants popping up. This is really a spot that you're you're going to want to check out because it's just going to continue to grow and allow people to split up where they're going based off where they're actually located. But overall, what this has to do with Meridian and why it's such a great place to be located is that you have got options. In a lot of the smaller towns around our valley, there are really good local options, but there might be 1 or 2 places to go out to breakfast. In Meridian itself, you are going to have a vast number of places that you can go check out and find your favorite without having to venture into downtown Boise for whatever you're looking for. Now, flipping over to the first con that we're going to talk about, construction. One of the things that comes with the growth and the development that I just talked about, Meridian is continuously growing, and I don't really see a stop anytime soon. We have got a ton of construction happening in this part of town. Whether this is for infrastructure projects with kind of road widening, getting a new highway exit kind of out on the very west edge of Meridian, there's going to be a lot of new commercial developments happening, especially once you get out again on that western edge, kind of where we see the development start to kind of expand out towards Nampa, and then on the southern edge as it expands out towards Kuna, you're just going to consistently find that they're working on new road widening. Like I said, they're looking on new grocery stores, schools, parks, new neighborhoods are popping up every single day. Meridian is a place where you're just going to get used to that color orange because you're going to find so much construction. The good thing with this is it is starting to get pushed out to the outskirts. There is still a lot of stuff happening in downtown Meridian, which we'll get to here in a second because that's actually a good thing. But construction on a whole is something that you're gonna have to be a little bit more familiar with if you're gonna choose Meridian, Idaho as the best place for you and your family. Now, as somebody who's lived here for almost 10 years now, this is something that Meridian just always has. In fact, for the first 5 years that I was in the area, I-84 pretty much from Boise to Meridian was just consistently under construction. Nothing is worse than your main thoroughfare on your commute being under construction. That has pushed out a lot of ways into Nampa and even out to Caldwell now, so they're making really good progress. The construction, though, is happening kind of in different parts of town, which is making the commute a heck of a lot easier, but you're gonna run into it. So this is just something that I like to highlight if you're looking for a specific type of neighborhood. If you're someone who's okay with construction for a temporary amount of time and you're willing to kind of deal with that, there's some really good new construction options that you can get a little bit more bang for your buck because you're on the edge of the development. If you're someone who doesn't want to deal with construction at all, you just don't even want to know that it's existing, some parts of North Meridian are going to be a little bit more well established. They're going to be developed. You're not going to have any of that construction, but you might have to pay just a little bit more or be okay with an older home, something like that. There's always a pro and con with every single decision. But jumping back to what I said about downtown Meridian, this is actually going to lead us into pro number 2, because downtown Meridian is growing and it is going to be a really cool place to check out over the next couple of years. For years, downtown Meridian was kind of just an afterthought. There were a couple of random breakfast spots, there was the city hall, there was the post office, and that was about it. Over the last few years, we're starting to see more and more restaurants, bars, barbers, all sorts of different things popping up in downtown Meridian, and the city is putting an emphasis on almost like revitalizing it to where it's giving you as a Meridian resident somewhere that you can go and get a little bit more of that downtown feel without having to go all the way to downtown Boise. Of course, there are things that downtown Boise will offer that downtown Meridian just never will, or at least for the foreseeable future. But it's a cool option to have, especially if you're looking, for example, somewhere to go and play trivia during the weeknight. 830 Common in downtown Meridian is one of the best options that you can have. It's a favorite of my wife and I's, and it's somewhere that you should check out, but there are more and more places like this just continuously popping up. And this is a project, when we look at it from kind of the overhead, you're gonna see there's still so much undeveloped dirt, but there are projects coming for this type of stuff. With all of this, something that I talk about a lot on the channel is the overall growth that we're seeing in our entire valley, but especially in this part of town. And Meridian is one of the fastest growing places in our entire valley. There are a lot of really cool things that come with this, but at the end of the day, and this is going to give us into con number 2, if you're looking for small town Idaho, or if you're looking for somewhere that isn't growing crazy, you want to find your gem, your place to live, but you don't really want everybody else to know about it. You want to kind of live in that place that's a little bit more private and there's not a lot of the hustle and bustle, the activity, anything like that. Meridian might not be the best place for you because it is growing really, really quickly and people continue to flock to it, and it's only gonna get bigger. When we look at Meridian, it really gets separated into North Meridian and then we have South Meridian. It's split kind of by I-84, our main highway going through the middle. North Meridian has been developed for years now. It is definitely a little bit more well established, but we're starting to see more of the commercial. We're seeing more of the restaurants, food offerings, everything like that pop up. But really, there isn't a ton of land that hasn't been developed as far as neighborhoods and new developments and such. There just isn't space for them. So North Meridian is gonna grow a little bit slower, but the reason that we've seen prices for homes and such continue to rise in this part of town is because people really want to live there, and now we're starting to have a scarcity sort of scenario where they want to live in North Meridian, but there isn't just a new development popping up every single day. There are still options for you, but things have become fewer and far between, which means that they become more desirable, and that will shoot prices up. Now on South Meridian, we are seeing this grow exponentially. For the longest time, South Meridian really was just forgotten about when we were talking about Meridian. Everything was in North Meridian in terms of services, food, drinks, places to go shopping. Now that we're seeing that move into South Meridian and we're starting to see the development grow, eventually that will start to meet up with CUNA, but this is where you're going to have a lot more opportunities for that new construction, being on the edge of the development, everything like that. But this comes at a cost. If you're looking for that rural small town feel, you're probably gonna be better served looking in CUNA, Middleton, Star, kind of some of the smaller towns where the population, for example, in Middleton right now is just under 10,000 people, whereas in Meridian, we're up around 120,000 people. This is the kind of disparity that we have here, where if you're looking for more of that rural feel, there are going to be options for you here in the valley, but Meridian probably isn't going to be that one. Now you might be thinking to yourself, Chase, if everything's growing so quickly, you're not getting that quintessential small town Idaho feel. Why do people like Meridian? What is going on? A big reason why people are drawn to this area, and this is going to take us into our next pro, is Meridian's location is kind of at the center of the entire Treasure Valley. Everything is kind of around Meridian. You basically have to go through it if you're coming from Canyon County, which is Nampa, Caldwell, etc., and you want to get into Boise or vice versa, you're gonna cut through Meridian. Like I said too, Eagle Road, that's one of the main thoroughfares in our entire valley. So if you live in Meridian, you are already kind of at the center of everything, and you're just a quick 15 minutes to get down to downtown Boise. You're about 10 minutes if you want to go to Eagle for something. Let's say that you want to go out to Caldwell and you want to check out Indian Creek Plaza. During Christmas time, they do a great kind of Christmas light show. You're only about 15, 20, maybe 30 minutes with traffic from there. Meridian puts you in a really good location where you can take advantage of a lot of the stuff around the valley without having to be located in the specific town. Contrast this to living in Caldwell, for example. If you want to go to a Steelheads game, if you want to go to a Boise State game, brunch in downtown Boise, you're about a 45-minute drive to get anywhere, which just means it's going to be a little bit more of a hassle, and it might not be something that you do as regularly as you would like to. And then as I was talking about, Meridian has a lot of the services, shopping, restaurants, things to do that Boise in particular has been the only place that really offered that to the valley for the longest time. Now that Meridian has a little bit of this, and you couple it with the location, Meridian can offer a lot of what Boise offers at a much better price point. When we're looking at median house prices, and this gap used to be a heck of a lot bigger, it is growing and it's starting to level out a little bit, you're gonna get quite a bit more bang for your buck in Meridian versus Boise, really across the board. So if you're able to have the amenities, you have a really good location, and you have access to everything that every other town has to offer, but you can save a little bit of money and have that just little bit more perfect house in your budget, that is a big reason why Meridian has started to separate itself as that best suburb in Idaho. Now, dialing it back and going back to a con, and overall the exponential growth of our entire valley, is traffic in Meridian is definitely something that you should be aware of. Our entire valley grew at a much quicker rate than any of the city planners thought was gonna happen. They weren't ready for it. We're still kind of scrambling to try and catch up with a lot of the infrastructure needs, especially in roadways, everything like this. So at the moment, getting to certain parts of Meridian during rush hour, anything like that, it is definitely a little bit of a struggle. For example, something that I do talk about a lot on the channel is if you're living in North Meridian, you're up here towards Chinden or kind of between Meridian, Eagle, Star area. To get to I-84, the main highway here in the area, you're gonna be looking at about 20 to 25 minutes just to get to the highway before you make your commute anywhere that you wanna go. Now, we have really a grid system kind of set up as it extends out through Meridian into Nampa. So there are a lot of ways that you can kind of shoot down different side streets. You can get to where you need to go and kind of avoid the mass traffic. But there are so many people living here now and the roads just aren't ready for it that getting places is gonna take you a little bit of time. If you're coming from somewhere that's a much bigger city and you're looking at traffic and you're like, hey, it takes us 40 minutes to drive to dinner regardless, that's just what we're used to. Overall, traffic here, even on the worst of days, is gonna be nothing compared to what you're used to. So all of this is very relative. But once you're living here for a little bit, you're gonna notice that Meridian's traffic is gonna be quite a bit worse than some of the surrounding towns. But like everything, this is something that the city is working on. So we're gonna see this start to relieve just a little bit of that traffic pressure. But as the town keeps growing, it's gonna be a while before that slows down enough that our infrastructure can really kind of catch up. And for the final pro of the day, I want to talk about the thing that really is what draws most of my clients when they're looking for a home here. Why does Meridian continuously pop up on so many of their lists? It's purely because of the size and the way that it's being developed. There are a ton of new home communities. There are a ton of communities with golf courses, waterfront. There is a community for almost everyone in Meridian. If you're looking for more of that budget conscious, maybe you're a first time buyer, this is the first time that you're buying that home, you just need that entry level, there's gonna be affordable options in Meridian. Let's say that you wanna buy the multi-million-dollar estate, you wanna live in Spur Wing, on the country club, on the golf course, maybe on the rim, and you wanna see all the foothills. Meridian has that for you. You want an older home with mature neighborhoods, Meridian's got it. New home construction, you want the condo living downtown. Meridian has something for everyone when we're talking about the type of neighborhood that you're looking for. So this is a reason why when we're going through the process, a lot of times I'll ask my clients, hey, what are you looking for and why are you looking for that? Why do you want to be in a master plan community? Oh, it's so that I have access to parks for my kids, whatever it might be. We do this because a lot of times Meridian has something that will match your needs almost perfectly. And this is something that just can't be said for a lot of the places around our town. Boise, of course, has a lot of this, but the prices are just going to be a little bit higher, which might push you out towards Meridian. Eagle, Star, they've got great options, but they're just much smaller towns, so they're not gonna have that diversity of option for you to go out and find. I'm a little biased when it comes to Meridian because it's a great place to live. Whether you're looking to start a family, Meridian is one of the best places to raise a family here in our valley. Whether you're looking to retire, my mom retired and moved to Meridian and she is living the life of her dreams. Or if you're like my wife and I and you were looking to buy your first home and kind of just getting started in that whole adulting phase, Meridian was a great option for us too. As it continues to grow and grow, there are growing pains, 100%. There are things that will annoy the crap out of you. But on the whole, those are pretty small compared to the list of benefits that Meridian could have for you. And as we continue to grow, the benefits are growing and we're gonna see some of those cons start to kind of drift away as we become more established and we are more comfortable with the growth in the population that we're gonna have. But at the end of the day, if you're looking at this list, every decision when you're thinking about where you want to live really is, could I see myself living there? Yes. And could I deal with the things that aren't ideal? Because no place is perfect. If the answers to both of those is yes, then Meridian could be a great place for you. But if there are some things that really stood out to you on the con side that you're like, you know what, that is a deal breaker for me, reach out. I would love to chat with you a little bit because a lot of times these things that Meridian can't offer you, other places just about 10 to 15 minutes away could be perfect for you. So again, whether you're thinking about making a move in 9 days or 9 months, if there is any way that I can help you learn just a little bit more about our valley and make this move as smooth as possible, feel free, reach out, call, text, schedule a Zoom, whatever's the best for you. All of my info is down in the description below, and I would love to chat with you. But until then, I hope this was valuable, and I'll see you all on the next one.